let's talk about the story of that little device that's probably in your pocket or in your hand right now, the cell phone. This journey is about so much more than just gadgets. It's really about our deep, fundamental need to connect, to shrink giant computers, and, somehow put the entire universe of knowledge right in the palm of our hand.
For pretty much all of human history, this was just the reality. If you wanted to talk to someone far away, you were looking at days, months, maybe even years for a letter to cross an ocean. Distance was this huge physical wall that shaped everything, from how empires were run to how families stayed in touch. It set the pace for all of human progress.
But we humans, we've always been obsessed with tearing down that wall, right? And the first real cracks started to show up back in the 19th century. That's when we figured out how to tame this invisible force, electricity, and use it to send our thoughts humming down a wire. First, we got the telegraph, sending these little coded pulses, dot, dot, dash, across entire continents. Then came the telephone, which felt like actual magic. It took the sound of your voice, turned it into an electrical signal, and shot it through a cable. For the first time ever, you could really, truly talk to someone miles away in real time. But there was always a catch, wasn't there? You were literally chained to the wall by a cord. And that set the stage for the next big dream. What if we could be free?
So, this led to the really big question. What if we could finally cut the cord? What if communication could move with us? The idea was just so radical. Engineers were dreaming this up decades before the tech to actually build it even existed. This was the cellular dream.
The core idea, which folks were kicking around way back in the 1940s, was actually brilliant. You divide a city into this grid of invisible zones, or cells. And as you move from one cell to the next, your call would get seamlessly passed along to the next radio tower. Simple in concept, but the challenges were just massive. We're talking batteries the size of car engines, computers that filled entire rooms, and trying to manage radio interference was a total mess. The dream was there, the science just needed to catch up.
And then it happened. An engineer, a guy named Martin Cooper, stood on a New York City street holding this device that looked like it was straight out of a sci-fi movie, and he made the world's very first handheld mobile phone call. History, right there on the sidewalk.
But let's be real, this revolutionary device was an absolute beast. It weighed over a kilogram, that's almost 2.5 pounds. This was not something you just slipped into your pocket. It was so bulky, people literally carried it around in a briefcase.
And hey, if you actually managed to place a call with that thing, you had to make it quick. The battery, in all its glory, could only give you about 30 minutes of talk time before it was completely dead.
And after that brief 30-minute chat, get ready to wait. The phone needed a staggering 10 hours to fully recharge. It was wildly impractical, incredibly expensive, and super clunky. But it was proof. It was proof that one day, communication could finally be free.
So that moment really did change everything. But how does it all actually work? How does your voice just leap out of your phone, fly through the air, and end up in someone's ear on the other side of the planet? It's a pretty incredible transformation when you break it down.
Okay, so the whole journey starts with your voice, which is really just a vibration in the air. Your phone's microphone grabs that vibration, turns it into an electrical signal, and then digitizes it into tiny packets of ones and zeros. Those little packets get broadcast as radio waves to the nearest cell tower. From there, your voice zips to this massive global network of fiber optic cables and satellites, and in just milliseconds, that data hits the other person's phone, where it's all put back together from digital code into the sound of your voice. It's an incredible feat of engineering that just makes distance feel completely irrelevant.
And get this process is happening all the time, even when you're not thinking about it. If you're walking down the street or driving your car, your phone is constantly measuring the signal strength from all the towers around you. It seamlessly switches between them in a process called a handover, always hunting for the strongest connection. It's this invisible, real-time dance that keeps your call from dropping.
For years, that's pretty much all a phone did, make calls. But then, digital tech didn't just make the phone better, it totally transformed it into something else entirely, a powerful computer that just so happens to fit in your pocket.
The scale of this change is just staggering. We went from a heavy brick that could barely hold a 30-minute call to a lightweight device that's our camera, our map, our connection to the internet, and a gateway to millions of apps. And it's all powered by a battery that lasts all day. The leap in what these things can do is almost hard to wrap your head around. And modern phones don't just compute things, they can actually sense the world around them.
The accelerometer knows when you move it. The gyroscope knows how it's being turned. The GPS is constantly listening for signals from satellites way up in orbit to figure out exactly where you are. Its camera doesn't just see, it uses AI to understand what it's looking at. This thing isn't just a tool anymore, it's like an extension of our own senses.
Now, all of this incredible hardware is brought to life by something just as crucial, the network. The evolution of our wireless networks is what really unlocked the true potential of the device we're all holding.
Each new generation of the network just opened up a whole new world of possibilities. 3G gave us our first real taste of the internet on the go. 4G made things fast enough to stream video without constant buffering, which completely changed entertainment. And now, 5G is another huge leap forward, giving us speeds with almost zero delay. And this isn't just about faster movie downloads. This is the stuff that will power complex systems like smart cities, self-driving cars, and maybe even remote surgery. Your phone isn't just connected to other people anymore. It's getting connected to the world's infrastructure.
So, when you hold your phone, just think for a second about what it really is. It's the end result of over 100 years of innovation. It's a powerful radio, a supercomputer doing billions of calculations a second, a whole suite of sophisticated sensors, and a direct portal to basically all of human knowledge. It's the story of our relentless need to connect, finally turned from science fiction into everyday reality.
And all of that leaves us with a really fascinating question, doesn't it? We spent more than a century tearing down the wall of distance to connect the entire world. So now, with all this incredible power in our hands, what's the next great wall we're going to choose to conquer?